Hi, Ms. Carroll. Here's a question we get a lot at the Extension office, and Rudy probably gets this question as well. Ground covers. What kind of ground covers do I need to put in this condition or that condition? So you're about to tell us, right, all about the ground covers.
Yes, and you know, we're also developing those lists now to be available online. Our website, uthort.com.
Okay,
we're just
good. Glad you mentioned
finalizing
that.
statewide lists
Okay.
to be posted soon, so stay
Good.
tuned there.
Okay.
But I've over the years, of course, compiled my own personal list for the ones that I have used here in West Tennessee successfully, and the ones that I absolutely warn people not to plant. So it is about evaluating the site, you know, sunshade as it is with anything, wet or dry,
Yeah.
and then choosing the appropriate ground cover. But another thing I really want to talk about is a lot of times people do just want it to cover ground in a place where it's difficult to mow, or where grass won't prosper.
Right.
But there's also just beautiful design reasons to use it. For example, recently on a hydrangea tour, which of course usually is in shade gardens, beautiful bright golden sweet flag sweeps of it that pulls you around the paths in the garden. Because I do like in shade gardens to look for those golden or variegated plants. Dark foliage plants will often just disappear in the shade against the mulch. And also they provide great contrast. Blue, I love blue plants, I love purple plants, but they don't show up unless you provide a pop of contrast sometimes behind it or a golden understory.
Right.
Those beautiful eucharas, you know, that have the dark foliage, but an understory of the dwarf golden sweet flag really makes them pop instead of against the mulch. So I also want to warn people, they think they want a fast one.
Yes, yes, they do.
But they don't.
They don't.
They soon will find out that fast ones don't know when to stop.
Oh,
That's
gosh.
the problem.
They're like, oh, okay, so stop here. Well, no, I'm a living thing, and I want to cover some ground, and I want to succeed. So English ivy is famous for being horribly invasive. It'll get up into your trees and in the neighbor's trees and out into the woodland and just keep going. And there's plenty of examples if you drive around Memphis.
Plenty. Yes.
To see. It will eventually shade out the canopy. It's not good for the tree. It's not parasitic. It just shades out the ability of the tree to photosynthesize. Sorry,
right.
y'all.
There it goes.
But it also will create that danger for that tree to be more subject to wind throw.
Yeah.
It catches the wind surface.
Pulls it over.
I was going to take a picture of a weeping willow covered with English ivy, and they were coming out like little pigtails.
Oh my goodness.
And before I got back to take the picture, the wind got it.
Oh,
That was
how about
just,
that?
just
Pulled
this
it
last
down.
year. So I like to look for the ground covers that will stay in discrete clumps. They may get bigger every year and more full and fill in. And it's going to cost more on the front end if you want a solid ground cover because you're going to plug more in.
Right.
But the lack of maintenance, everybody tells me, I've never had anybody tell me they want high maintenance. So if they want low maintenance, spend a little bit more money, you know, and
Right,
get these
you're right.
slower spreading ones that stay in discrete clumps. And there's lots of them out there now. There are sedges, and a lot of times we think of our weedy sedges as being problems and running, but there are many well-behaved sedges that do stay in discrete clumps. The sweet flags, again, are ones that slowly spread and come in a variety of colors. Also, I like to find those that will give me a season of bloom. Ajuga has a beautiful little
I was
bloom
going to say that. I like ajuga.
in the spring. And the moss phlox, the phlox subulata, a lot of people like to call thrift. That's a great little ground cover.
Periwinkle.
Periwinkle will too as well. Sometimes the vinca, the periwinkle, the large one, gets a little bit aggressive.
Yeah.
And another thing I wanted to mention about those really aggressive ones, you think you're just going to put it there and you have no more maintenance to do, but weeds come up in them.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Speaking of weeds, right?
Yes, I have gone out and photographed in the vinca right behind the experiment station all the things that birds like to eat. Virginia creeper, poison ivy, rivet, hackberry,
They'll drop it right in
the
there.
native black cherry, the wild cherry. That's what happens. And nothing you can spray there to kill it that won't absolutely kill the ground cover as well.
Good point, yeah.
So that's an issue.
Okay.
I want people to know there's two kinds of monkeygrass.
Yes, please explain that one. Yes, please.
They're different species. Liriope, muscari stays put.
Stays put,
It's
right.
a big, nice clump, gets bigger, but Liriope spicata will run, and it'll run into your lawn and places you may not want it. So I like to use it, though, in places that it's contained. If it's contained, completely surrounded by concrete, by sidewalk,
It'll fill in pretty quick.
it fills in beautifully, and it looks like a river. It just blows. It's got a nice texture to it. But if you need slow spreading, the Now mondo will do that too, by the way. It's very similar to Liriope
Okay.
spicata. But the little dwarf mondos don't spread fast.
I like those.
Yes, they're cute as they can be.
Yeah.
And they stay a little tiny height.
Yeah, they're really tiny.
And there's even a black mondo.
Yes, I've seen that one.
hadn't seen
That's
that.
beautiful.
Okay.
It is beautiful, and it is the slowest thing you will ever plant.
You're right. You're right. It's very
So I always tell people, go ahead
tedious.
and buy a lot, because I love how I've seen people use it to make another plant pop, a variegated plant, for example, with that black background. But buy enough to make an impact,
enough.
because it's not going to spread quickly. You're going to be waiting for years for the effect that you hoped for.
Okay. Now, going back to the Liriope for a second, it has to be cut back, right?
If we have yes, it'll start looking tattered at the
Okay.
end of winter, especially if we've had a severe winter.
Okay.
So just, either set your mower on the highest setting or a weed eater, whatever
Okay.
you want to do, you can do that. Also, some of the pretty ones, there's a golden monkey grass called PD ingot. There's a beautiful silvery sunproof is a
Yeah,
common
I've seen
one,
that,
but
yeah.
it's a gorgeous big variegated plant. And I've seen friends use that as a perennial. Just put it in next to something that complements.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
And just a little explosion of gold or silvery foliage. My friend Jimmy Williams up in
Yeah,
Paris
okay.
has a great eye for using those, or even in containers.
Okay.
I use them that way. Some of the ground covers, in fact, make great container additions. If you're thinking about the spillers again, for evergreen, for winter interest, I often leave them in containers for years and just add the summer annuals and then the winter things that I wanted to for more interest. I want to talk about sedums too.
All right, let's go.
Sedums.
I read
Yeah, I like sedum.
sometimes just this blanket statement. People will say, well, sedums make a great ground cover and they take sun and they don't need much water.
Right.
Which
I've heard that.
one?
Oh,
There
Uh-huh.
are dozens of species and
Yep.
hundreds of cultivars.
Yep.
And they don't all make good ground covers. And some of them, we think of them as really loving heat.
yeah.
But some aren't so tolerant of our heat and our humidity. So just to mention, it's okay to mention a Memphis nurseryman by name is Paul Little.
all little.
And he has selected a bunch of sedums that really do well in the South that will make nice, tight, spreading ground covers. Angelina's hard to beat.
Oh.
That beautiful
like
gold,
Angelina,
and it gets a burgundy color in the winter. It stays, and these will all tolerate a little bit of shade as well.
Okay.
Chinese sedum, one of my
Oh,
very
yes.
favorites,
I've seen, yeah,
sometimes
that's
called
very nice.
coral reef
Coral reefs, yep.
in the trade now. It gets a little bit of a ruddy color in the winter time. It stays little tight rosettes. And I've seen it do surprisingly well in shade. And if I had to pick a third, there's one that Paul Little called me. He said, nobody comes in here and asks for that by name because it doesn't have a common name. It's Phedemus tachysamense, also classified as Sedum tachysamense. He said, is it okay? People come in and say, could I please buy some of Carol's favorite sedum? Can I call it Carol's favorite? And I said, I'd be honored.
Oh,
So
all right.
here in
Yeah,
Memphis, it has a label on it now.
Trade name. There we
Carol's
go.
How about
favorite.
that?
Isn't that thrilling?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So that's a beautiful, beautiful sedum. A little bit taller, but again, stays nice and tight, and the texture is fabulous. I use it in containers, I use it in the ground. And the great thing about sedum, you can just pick up a piece and hand it to a friend.
Right.
You can accidentally leave it in your pocket for a few days.
gosh.
And it'll last.
It'll still root.
Yeah.
I often show people how easy it is to spread. For example, Angelina, I'll pull a clump up and go over and throw it on the ground. I said, I come back in a few weeks and
It'll
there'll be a
be rooted.
nice
How
patch
about that?
there. The surprising thing, because they are so drought tolerant, because Angelina sedum roots are just about that
Very
deep.
shallow. Yeah.
They get enough moisture from the night air. They don't really require deep rooted. Though some of the clump forming sedums do have deeper roots, so I'm not going to tell you they're all that way, but that's one of the reasons that I like them. If they do get aggressive, and they can get into areas where I don't want them, they're easily removed. You can do it with a rake.
Okay, let's rake it up. Right. The night air is how it gets its
I know,
moisture.
isn't that cool? Oh, remember that if you do get Bermuda grass
Okay.
in your monkey grass or mondo grass,
There we are.
you
It's good.
can
What's gonna happen?
use, yes.
Yes.
It's gonna happen.
And I have stopped and told people, I've seen them all sitting there trying to weed Bermuda grass out of the monkey grass. So, there's a herbicide for that.
Yes, there is.
Because monkey grass is not a grass. Mondo grass is not a grass.
Right.
They're an entirely different family.
That's
So
right.
you can spray and kill those grassy weeds in those ground covers and not harm your monkey grass or mondo grass.
Mondo grass.
Mondo.
Right. Good stuff. All right. So we appreciate that good information about
One more,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
creeping raspberry.
creeping raspberry. Real quick.
Do you love
All right.
creeping raspberry?
Yes.
That's a great
They
ground cover
are
for sun
unique,
or
yes.
shade. The texture, They'll cascade, and in full sun,
Okay.
they fruit.
They full sun.
Little
sun.
yellow raspberries
Yeah.
that are
Really?
edible. No thorns on
They're-
them either. They're just
Nope.
kind of stiff, but not
Yeah, and
prickly.
they're
They're edible.
edible.
yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they're nice
I
creeping
didn't
low.
know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we need to
Edible.
use that one more.
Okay. Well, there you have it, y'all. Miss Kara Reese. They're edible. Thank you. That was really good with ground covers.
Good.
Thank you much. Appreciate that. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. To find out more information on this topic, just click on the familyplotgarden.com link in the description.